Welcome, everybody, to this week 2 of the College Picks. And we got it right here, College Picks week 2, and I'm going to bring in the panel of the College Pick prognosticators. Shane Stodmiller. How you doing today, Shane?
I'm good. I'm ready to
I know, you're ready to pick some stuff. Yeah, 20 minutes and less.
Games, yep.
Yeah. And out on the other side of the state, the smartest man in Philly, Rich Smoke. What's up, Rich?
Living the dream. Somebody
living the dream. Living. Okay.
Right to argue with Shane.
Well, you guys can argue all you want about these college picks. Go ahead, Shane.
Well, we started this off last week. We had some fun games. Colorado showed us that
yes, they did.
You can buy talent, and if people believe, they can, beat a decent team. TCU, you did play for the national championship, but they're not quite national championship caliber.
They're not last year. Yeah, it's a new year.
Absolutely. So, there's a few things we can talk about, takeaways, and the first one is, LSU, and in Florida State. Is Florida State that good? Yeah, they're good. Is LSU that bad? No. So it was close until the very end. There was some fourth down and shorts that they had an opportunity to stay in it. They didn't. But the season's early, and I don't think LSU is going to be going away. Penn State.
Look good.
Yeah, they look good. Or is West Virginia that bad? And we'll know the litmus test.
That.
The litmus test is going to be Michigan, Ohio State. As you can see, I'm wearing the black West Virginia hat in mourning. We have a dead coach in waiting, just waiting for the hangman's noose to come and rope his Neil Brown's carcass out the door along with Gordon Gee, the president. But that's for another day.
One thing I was going to say though was that first year quarterback for Penn State showed out, man. There was some questionable throws in there. We talked about before the show a little bit, a couple interception attempts there that probably should have been picks. But all in all, the guy managed the game really well. In a big pressure environment, first year guy, pretty impressive. I thought it was
there's two to cornerback number 11 in West Virginia it went right through his hands. I don't know how. That's why the kid's playing defense, not catching balls in the slot. But that would have changed the game because like I said from last week, it's going to be close until the very end. Then they're just going to pull apart. And of course, Franklin puts the stomps on West Virginia's larynx while they could have just taken a knee, but he wanted to put 6 more points on so they cover the spread. So, but The last takeaway is, we can wipe our ass with all the paper we won of all our predictions because it's college football, and you don't know until you know. As till the end of the season,
until you're going for a national championship, in my eyes.
Yep. So. And all depends on who you play.
They're questionable.
Yeah. You could run the table, and if you're not one of the Power 5 schools, you're not going to have a place at the table. So we have 10 games.
10 games.
And it's so good this week that there were some games that I didn't put on my list that I probably should have. And I'm going to run through them real quick. You got Auburn at California, Illinois, Kansas, Stanford, USC, Purdue, Virginia Tech, which would have been a good one.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State versus Arizona State, Wake Forest, Arizona, and you got USC versus Boise State. Those all could have been in the top 10, but I'm number 10. I have a bias, and I'm sure our fans, and because we're from Western Pennsylvania and Rich is from Pennsylvania, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh is number 10.
There we go. Right here, number 10.
So,
here we go.
Now, I still call it Heinz Field. Pitt will have 15,000 people at Heinz Field and get their home field advantage. And they're only picked by, what'd you say, Bubba, 6 points? Or what was that, Rich?
So. That was 8. I think 8.
It was me.
Over Cincinnati.
It's an 8-point spread, Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Cincinnati's better than that, and Pitt plays down to the,
I'm taking Pitt anyway. I'm a homer.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put out the shout out to the guys on the Facebook feed here. Burns said yes, they did about Penn State. He said the second string was playing. And Larry, who won the West Virginia game last Saturday? My cable went out due to snow, he says. And the host of Hey Guys podcast and part of the Mega Mania panel guy and his own wrestling podcast, Pro Wrestling Extreme Talk.
One thing to point out, though, in this game, I mean, I got Pittsburgh probably winning this one as well. And I know they only played Eastern Kentucky, but a 66-13 win last week over Eastern Kentucky. Cincinnati's Emory Jones went off for like I think it was 6 or 7 touchdowns. So, I mean, who knows? If that quarterback stays hot, I mean, I'm not expecting him to put up 7 TDs against Pittsburgh.
Right.
But there's talent there, so who knows? I mean, it's one of them things where he has a good game, and Pittsburgh could definitely have to rebound a little bit here.
Well, they could have thoughts of couch burning on their minds and think past to Cincinnati. That's the only way that Cincinnati beats them. So we'll move on to number 9.
Number nine. Burns said that he's taking Cincy over Pittsburgh also. So number 9 is
that would be a good bet.
Number 9, Colorado and Nebraska. And I think this is a pretty exciting game. I think it's gonna be a really good game. And I know last week I like TCU. He's I was a big Ladainian Tomlinson fan, so I was always a big TCU guy. But I will say it was extremely impressive. 45-42 last week. Deion's son is looking like an absolute $1 million man. I haven't seen a date. Listen, he comes from like a JUCO school, basically Jackson State. Comes out and he blows up like he's been at Alabama this whole time. I'm gonna take Colorado in this game, honestly, over Nebraska, and I don't think it's gonna be close. I think TCU might be on a downslide, but they're dramatically better than Nebraska on paper and on the field. And if Colorado can beat TCU, sky's the limit.
Okay. Who you taking?
Colorado
Shane?
had nothing to lose last week.
Nope.
You know, and they had the prime time motivational enema. You know, he comes in there and hypes everybody up. Hell, they didn't have the money to pay him.
Yeah.
And they even admitted, we don't have the money to pay him, but we'll get it. And they sure enough, they have the cash so he can cash the check now.
Well,
and
they have Warren Sapp. I seen the coach, the press. Well, his rally speech today. He was in overalls and he had Warren Sapp, and they're like, talking the talk. And I'm going to take Colorado too. And Burns says also take prime time. Danny Donahue, thanks for tuning in to the Foosball College Pick Week 2. So we are at. That's a sweep there for Colorado. We are at number 8.
Yep. So
Number
we're going
8.
from the center of college football, which is Boulder, Colorado right now, to Wisconsin at Washington State. So Washington State was looking like a school without a home, and they still kind of are floating around there. We'll see what happens. But, Wisconsin, man, they're not the Wisconsin of old. So this is going to be a close game. I put it on the list because I'm still curious about what Wisconsin, the Big Ten in my mind has a top tier, which is Penn State, Ohio State, and, Michigan.
Right.
And then there's a huge drop to the middle tier where the Big 12, you have, there might be one team at the very top and then, it's parity. And then one team that kind of sucks. But, that's not the case. And that's not the case for the Pac-12. I thought the Pac-12 was on life support. We saw Washington last week put out, and Washington State, it's their time. We'll see. They might be a top 25 team, whoever wins this. So we'll see.
So who you taking? Shane?
I'm taking Washington State.
Oh, Smoke. Who you taking?
I'm going to follow. I mean, I looked into a couple of these games before we hopped on. Checked it out last night, and Wisconsin's favored by 6.5, and there's for good reason. Their defense is pretty solid.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that until it's college football, right? So I mean, until Washington State shows me otherwise, I'm going to go with Wisconsin. They're definitely the favorite here, and for good reason. So I'll take them.
I'm also taking Wisconsin. Because Burns said he's taking the Fighting Mark Coys. That's what he said. Mark Coy, a buddy of ours, his son actually wrestles for Wisconsin. So I'm taking Wisconsin, but they have no T.J. Watt lineage because they're all in the NFL. So that's what I'm taking. Next game. Here we go.
There you go, Rich. What do you think?
Iowa State. I think this is going to be a really good game, man. I love these interstate rivalries. They're always the most exciting games that you watch a lot of the time. There's usually some upsets in here, but this is not going to be one of them. I got Iowa winning this game. I like Iowa a lot, always have. Last year they had a great run until they kind of collapsed. But I think they're going to be a better team all around. I got Iowa beating Iowa State in this one.
It was a 2-point game, I think, last year. It was real close.
Yep.
I think the Cyclones are like, man, they're a team you don't want to play because you don't know what you're getting. They'll piss in your Kool-Aid quicker than shit. So I'm picking Iowa State. I think they're gonna, surprise some folks, but you never know. I mean, shoot. I don't know. They had a guy coming over from Michigan. I don't know. They might give him the spark they need at quarterback. So it's going to be a low scoring game. That's a fact.
Just so you know, before Bubba makes his pick here, it's only a 3.5 point spread. So Iowa's only favored by 3.5. So people are giving Iowa State their credit in this game.
Right, right. Craig, thanks for tuning in out in Patton. Burns is taking Iowa. Chris Elliott, Danny Donahue, thank again for tuning in. I'm going to go with Iowa State, guys. That's what I'm going to go with Iowa State.
I'm all alone. I'm just kidding.
So, next matchup.
Okay, Texas A&M, Miami. Okay, the Rock's alma mater, and I can tell you a story about the Rock. I played West Virginia in Morgantown. The Rock basically goes, the Miami Hurricanes are going to lay the smackdown on West Virginia's candy ass. I'm like, oh my gosh, the Rock's going to kick our ass. I was so excited to get beat, Yeah. But Texas A&M, they're another one of those teams. When you think they're fire, they're cold. But I think this is going to be a close game. This is one of those coin tosses for me. I'm going to take A&M. I think Texas has a chance to be a pretty good team this year. Miami will be improved. But the question is, this is going to be a big game. I think these two teams, I'd say the winner is going to be it's 50-50. It's really close. I don't know what the spread is, but I'm going to take A&M. We'll see.
That's who I'm taking because I hate Miami. I've always hated Miami, and I'm never going to take Miami. I've hated them since the 80s when Penn State, by the grace of God, they come out in their camos. Yes, the Fiesta Bowl, Shane Conlon, Texas A&M all the way. Rich, who you got, brother?
Texas A&M is favored by 4. I don't blame them. I'm taking Texas A&M, and I think this is the second one we're unanimous here. But I think A&M's going to have way too much offensive firepower for that defense over there in Miami. Yeah. I mean, Miami used to be a hot commodity. Now it's starting to dwindle a little bit over the years, but I'm taking A&M, and I think it's going to be at least by 4.
Okay, Burns also taking Texas A&M. Next one, here we go.
Okay. Utah
what do you think, Rich?
Baylor. I mean, this is an interesting one. I actually didn't expect this one to make your top 10. There must be some bias in here. No, it's a good game. It is.
Yeah.
I think Baylor is on the up and up, so to speak. I mean, they definitely improved a lot more. Their recruiting's gotten a lot better over the last couple of seasons. That being said, I still think Utah's a top 25 team. I don't know if Baylor could be top 25, but probably on the rear end. I mean, and I'm going to take Utah in this game. I think Utah is still that team to beat. In this game at least. I mean, they're not the best team in college, but I think Utah is going to have a really good game on their hands here. I think Baylor's defense is going to struggle on this one, and I expect some big points by Utah.
If Baylor wins this, they'll definitely be top 25. And since Baylor got that beautiful stadium years back, they've definitely been a premier team to they have the facilities to recruit. They've been able to replace the coaches and stay relevant. And I think that these are two Power 5 schools. Utah's going to be going into the Big 12, so we're going to be seeing this matchup more often. I'm picking Baylor.
Ooh. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. I'm taking Utah. And Burns says Utah real big. Brian Yeager, thanks
Utah.
For tuning in.
I love
Beth
Utah.
Botsford Booth, thank you for tuning in for the FooseBall College picks.
I just looked it up, by the way, for you real fast, Shane, if you want to see how big of an underdog you are here. Utah is favored by 7.5.
Yeah.
So,
not that big of a
Not in college.
Here we go at 14:20. Next show here. Here we go. Shazam. Good old Miss versus Tulane. Woo-wee. Good old
Tulane.
Miss.
Okay, I'm going off of last year. This year they looked good last week. I had them as one of my top 10 games. They didn't disappoint, and this week Ole Miss is going to be at Tulane. These are good teams, and you can definitely see them moving into the top 25 if they win a few more. So it's on my list. I'm picking Tulane.
Ooh.
We'll see.
Nice. Okay.
I'm also going to take the upset. I'm taking Tulane as well. I mean, and it's funny. The Rebels right now are 7.5 point favorites as well. So Ole Miss is favored,
right.
But I don't know. Being with that green wave live in the crowd, man, them fans.
Right.
And
Burns said in the Facebook, Rebels by 28.
I don't know. Take the points here. Take the points. It's only a 7.5 point spread.
That's who I'm taking. I'm taking Ole Miss. I'm not putting any points on. And I want to put out Dorothy. Thanks for tuning in. Brian Yeager, Iowa, Utah, Colorado. Primetime is on a roll. So here we go, and we're on a roll too. We're getting it down to the nitty gritty. Matt, thanks for tuning in. We are at number 3.
Number
3.
2.
Number 3.
Number 3.
Oh, somebody cut me off then. I only got 2 more on here. All right, well, this one, I'm a big Notre Dame. I only see one more after this one on my spreadsheet here. So
Rudy!
I'll let Shane tell game number 1. Then you do 2 in a row after this, Shane.
Okay.
No, for this game, though, Notre Dame, North Carolina State. Notre Dame is my college football team of choice. It is the only team outside of the state that I pull for. I am a Fighting Irish guy till the end of the day. I can't stand North Carolina teams. I can't stand the people. I stopped there on the way home from South Carolina.
You're on vacation.
There's North Carolina State crap all over the place on my way home, and I was busting some chops on some fans about this game a couple weeks ago. So to stay true to my squad, Notre Dame, they're going to win by double digits.
Okay, Chris Elliott says the Irish win big. Burns says Notre Dame will win, and I hope they lose by 90. And I'm taking Notre Dame just because, Rudy and Montana played for him. So
the only way Notre Dame loses is they look past North Carolina State because they're playing Ohio State the following week. And that Sam Hartford is probably the most handsome guy in football in the past 3 years, and he's probably going to score a touchdown, after the game for sure. So
Burns says fake Catholics.
Yeah, exactly. So number 2, guys. Number 2.
Here we go.
The Ducks and Texas Tech. This is a sneaky big game, okay?
This is.
A lot of people look at Oregon, they see the swoosh, they see Nike, but I have them ranked pretty high. Texas Tech is a little bit under the radar, but I'm going to tell you, Texas Tech is not a horrible team. So I think Texas Tech has a little bit legitimate chance. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I think they have a chance if it stays close in the fourth quarter. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna take Texas Tech.
Do it.
Yeah, I saw them lose that game last week. I don't think Texas Tech looked phenomenal by any means last week. Meanwhile, Oregon is 13th ranked in the nation. They look really good. Had a great recruiting drive this year. Another team with a really well balanced team, offensively and defensively. Yep. I mean, that's how you get to a top poll, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, just to go with the fact that Oregon, with Texas Tech losing that first game, they're probably a little demoralized coming into this one against a big opponent. They have nothing to lose, don't get me wrong, but I think they're going to lose nonetheless. So I'm going to take Oregon over Texas Tech.
Rich is taking Oregon. Burns, Chris Elliott said the Ducks, and Burns says it's a dandy, Oregon close. I'm going to go for the upset. I'm going to take Texas Tech because I'm crazy like that. Robert, thanks for tuning in. And here's the last game. This is the last game, and we got a minute and a half.
Texas versus Bama. Nick Saban. Yep.
Sorry.
So, go ahead, Rich.
Go, Rich.
No, this is Shane's game of the week here, man. So, I mean, Texas and Bama. I'll let you talk about this game first, and this is your big game.
Yeah, this is a top 15 matchup. You will see how Texas, if the grass is greener, are they going to get their ass kicked? I think Alabama's going to handle them pretty well. They're going to, they're not used to that SEC defense. Texas is used to putting a lot of points on people, but usually against weaker defenses. I think Alabama just smacks them in the teeth, and they're going to wish they stayed in the Big 12.
Wow.
I'm gonna piggyback right off of you. I'm taking Alabama also. So, Rich, who you taking with 30 seconds to go?
Alabama is my least favorite college in football. I can't stand Bama. I can't stand all those Patriot glory days and all the Dallas glory days and all that bullshit. Trying to watch the same team win, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to watch it one more time. I think Bama's going to smash up on Texas double digits
Okay.
as well.
Burns says the last quote of the night, Alabama by 17 with 19 minutes and 47 seconds, gentlemen. The top 10 shows week 10. Subscribe to the Triple B Experience. We'll be here next week doing the NFL and college, and we are out of here. Good night, everybody.